News for Tuesday, December the 8th, 2015. An 18-year-old coconut water seller has died after being hit by a truck in suspicious circumstances on Arsenal Pasture in Jackson. Reports from the area say Kadeem Wilfred, who lived nearby, was involved in a dispute with another man preceding his death. The man who was driving the truck is said to have driven to a police station and was taken into custody. Flow says it will provide $500,000 for sport development under a 5-year agreement with the Olympic Association. Flow Managing Director Neil Shee has been telling reporters about the partnership.
So in addition to the $500,000, we are pleased to also present the BOA with an electronic billboard, and this billboard will be used to broadcast the major sporting events from Barbados and around the world, including the 2016 Olympics in Rio. So our partnership with the BOA is actually very timely because we're also delighted to be the Caribbean's official broadcast partner for the 26 Olympic Games in Rio. And this will mean, as Steve mentioned earlier on, that we will have between 10 and 12 dedicated channels that will be showing the Olympics. So in the past, if you weren't particularly interested in volleyball, you would, and that was what was shown, you had to watch. What we're going to have is actually up to 10 simultaneous channels that you'll be able to go in and select a button and watch it all at high definition. And I think that's really going to transform people's ability to watch sport and view sport the way they want to.
Olympic Association President Steve Stout used the media briefing to call for more support for local athletes.
In the past, the corporate sector has rushed to heavily reward our athletes who have performed exceptionally well in major international competitions such as World Championships and Olympic Games. But if these athletes and others had that kind of support at outset, they probably would have done much better in their quest for glory. Barbados has been very lucky to produce some very dynamic athletes who are blessed with natural talent and a sterling dedication to their sport. However, today, the science behind winning goes way beyond talent and rather is a formula that blends ability with millions of dollars of investment.
The government is planning to approach the UN's Green Climate Fund for financing for projects to combat climate change. The move comes as the fund's board agreed to provide $168 million in funding for its first 8 projects in developing nations. While there's worry that project approvals are being held up by bureaucracy, Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair said he was confident about the operations of the fund.
The Green Climate Fund provides an unprecedented window of financing that can advance our quest along a climate-resilient development strategy. Within this context, therefore, I truly welcome the progress made to date on the operationalization of the Green Climate Fund. The government of Barbados places great hope in this new and modern institution and believes that the GCF has the potential to deliver transformative, adaptive, and mitigating climate project results. We also see the Green Climate Fund as a pillar of the post-2015 climate regime that will channel concessional resources that should be accessible and responsive to our needs and priorities.
The organizers of Carol by Candlelight, the annual hit Christmas charity show at Ilara Court, are expecting bigger crowds this year with the inclusion of new popular acts. The president of Rotary Club of Barbados, Jerry Robinson, said that artists such as Party Monarch, Peter Ram, Nikita, Marvey and Biggie Irie will be performing in this 20th year of the festival, sponsored this time around by First Citizens Bank. Christmas is in the air, and on Tuesday, Santa Claus made an appearance at Ward C7 of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital to spread some cheer. He was joined by his helpers from the Hinesbury Primary School Alpha Club in sharing out gifts and treats. The children also sang traditional Christmas carols. There's a new twist to the 17-year-old land dispute at the farm plantation St. Peter that was finally settled by the CCJ. Landowner Stephen Ward has vowed to track down former occupant Tim Walsh to claim thousands of dollars in unpaid rent which accumulated over 2 decades. Mr. Ward recently sold his business Nature's Produce and returned home to Australia. Mr. Ward's attorney Leslie Haynes said rent was never paid.
The High Court found, the judge at the High Court found, we always denied that he paid rent. But the judge, Justice Greenwich at the High Court, found that the electricity bill paid by Walsh was paid in lieu of rent. The electricity bill that Walsh was using to pump water for his own plants.
Do you think though that
so he was an occupation of some 60 acres, paying $300 a month.
Do you think there was a perception though that Mr. Ward was the bad guy in all this?
Well, Mr. Ward certainly wanted to make him the bad guy, because his case was that Mr. Ward had promised him A, B, and C, and that he thought he had a deal with Mr. Ward, but he never had any deal with Mr. Ward.
After a protracted legal battle over the land, the Caribbean Court of Justice awarded judgment to businessman Bjorn Beercom, who has since said he's no longer interested in the property. Up next is Natasha Beckles with this week's commentary on professionals who refuse to pay taxes.
Doctors in Barbados are balking at the need for a tax clearance certificate in order to practice medicine next year. The measure was introduced in the June budget by Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair to widen the tax net. But it is not only doctors who are being targeted. According to Minister Sinclair, there are people operating businesses, offering services and consultancy who have not paid a cent in taxes. This money is used to repair roads, buy medicine for the hospital, build schools, and supply goods and services for our education system. Too many people are not contributing, and we are seeing free amenities and services slowly dry up as government is unable to sustain the spending. Ironically, the people who can ill afford it are the ones who religiously pay their taxes. It is time that those who can pay their fair share.
Sport now. The Barbados men's team opened the 10th Junior Caribbean Volleyball Championships with an emphatic straight sets victory over Trinidad and Tobago on Monday night. The defending champions won 25-20, 25-12, 25-18. In women's play, there were victories for Curaçao and the US Virgin Islands. And finally, some man talk. Are you too shy to urinate in a public urinal? Well, the Privy P might be just the thing for you. Although it is still in the prototype stage, it is being designed to help men hide their private parts while using a urinal. To use the Privy P, a man must fasten the cape-like cover under his neck as he stands above the urinal. Suction cups at the end of the fabric attached to the wall, creating a private space. Accessory number 1. And that's Nation News for Tuesday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Midweek Nation on Wednesday or subscribe to our e-paper.